Hello everyone and welcome back to PAX and Recreation. And I am kind of late to this party, but bear with me, too much stuff. I finally got a Magicon box. So for the uninitiated, so this is like a conference in a box, right? Like Magicon in a box, which is actually kind of cool. But this is more or less a secret lair. It is a secret lair. I mean, it is in the secret lair website, and the whole thing here is, well, if you can go to the Magic convention, you get the convention in a box. Now, there is a bunch of discussions about value and whether it's worth it or not. Spoilers. It really comes down to what you value the most, which you may be thinking like, well, doesn't that like summarize everything? Really, it's like more or less like, because previous boxes like this had different contents, so maybe those were more attractive to you. These have a different focus. The thing that made me interested in it was that it has a bunch of mystery boosters, mystery booster 2, which is a new thing, and we're going to open some of them. Maybe not all of them, because maybe then the video gets infinite. Let's see. But yeah, sealed, so let's go. And it also took longer because, well, it just took longer for everyone in non-US to get their boxes. So, because they were saving the good pulls, guys. These are the good pulls. So let's see, this is actually my first Magicon box. I was actually kind of divided because I don't like buying secret lairs since they became, FOMO machines. When they were like print to demand, I didn't mind waiting for 3 months or something for them, or 4 or whatever, for them to come, because I mean, they're mostly reprints. It's not like I need them urgently, right, for a standard or anything. But since they became FOMO things, it's like So welcome to your own personal Magicon. This is a great setup. Like you can see Fibbleputh in there, which is actually great. Now this sort of booster box is new, and it's kind of shameful that I have to like bend it because it's not like you're going to store it for stay your collectibles, but nonetheless. Oh, this is glued here, not bad. So Fibbleputh, a divider, and some promos here I'm going to open in a second. Like the contents of this part are pretty. Am I the only person that loves playing with this? Obviously not with gloves, because it's actually more crazier with gloves, but like with your bare hands, with those boogers. So we get some promos in pure secret lair style. So these are actually like secret lair cards, as you may expect. You may get from it. Does it does give me this feeling of, you're going to see in a second, that these are like leftover secret lairs that they didn't get to like build a whole secret lair around. Like for example, Ponder, but it's a turtle eating a hot dog and pizza and donuts, which I love my Ninja Turtles. I love turtles overall, and as any reasonable human, I love hot dogs and pizza and donuts. So the thing is, I don't dislike it. It doesn't scream Magic the Gathering, but most secret lairs don't. And it's Ponder. So look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them back in any order. You may shuffle, draw a card, which the 3 cards reference, not bad. Now, because it's convention food, I guess that will be my justification. So then you have Swords to Plowshares in this interesting art by Heiko Müller. I think that's how it's pronounced, at least. And it's kind of creepy, and it has this weird "don't hug me, I'm scared" kind of vibe to it. So again, this is a very Ponder can fit in some commander decks, but Swords to Plowshares certainly fits in a lot of commander decks, because, well, 1 white, instead, and you exile target creature, its control against life equals to its power. So great removal. I'm going to put them in the same pile instead of doing the usual color thing. A Plains, which, is from John Avon, so it's a great looking Plains. Like I would love to have a full size poster of this in my house, but it's weird that it's like, oh, we have a Plains, and it's even foil. It's kind of weird which, yes, I'm the first person that will be like, guys, we need to give more love to the lands, because land cards have amazing art, but no one cares about them, even though you can't play Magic without lands, right? And technically, you can't play Swords to Plowshares without these, right? So, it's great, but it's kind of because they don't have value to them, right? And ironically, they should have more, because they fit in any deck, like, because they are lands. Well, any deck that you need those colors at least. Convention Marrow. So Mark Rosewater. So for one green and 2 or 1 blue and 2 or 1 red, you have this test card that is not for constructed play, which is funny because there is nothing else that you can do with this one then, because this wasn't like a draft. It's a 3/3 elemental gamer. Whenever you cast a spell that choice A, create a green elemental creature token named Marrow with this creature power and toughness are each equal to the number of choice B. And as you create the deck, so I guess what this means with constructed play is like not for standard and stuff like that. So for commander it flies, I guess. As you create your deck, choose A and B. So A is an elemental, A2 has a watermark or landscape orientation, and A3 targets a creature you control, and B is cards in your hand, card types among cards in your graveyard, or artists among non-land, non-token permanents you control. So not bad. It's a very modular card, very interesting. And it's funny to try and guess which card is underneath it. I love the thing that is like, this is how they playtest cards at Wizards, right? And these are the 4 promo cards that you know for sure that you're getting on the side. Then we have an actual secret there, which is Little Legends Rainbow Foil Edition. So the contents of this are pretty well known, right? So we're going to go through it in a second. Let me just remove this because it has a booger, so it's just going to stick to it. And some other convention boxes had a metric ton of boosters. This one has less quantity and arguably more quality, depending on your perspective, because it comes with 3 collector boosters, 1 for Commander Masters, 1 for Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and 1 for Wilds of Eldraine. Now, this was all announced before the bannings of some of the face cards of these two sets. So the craziest pulls that you can get here now are banned in Commander. So there is that. And then La Piece de la Résistance, which is Mystery Booster 2 booster box. So let me just turn this to the side to remove it properly. There you go, like smaller box. And then the convention box, which is not a bad piece of memorabilia, right? For you to store cards and so on. So we're going to go through this, and we're going to go through this, or at least some of this, because kind of the joke here is that this is for draft the unknown. So as you know, what I normally do with these ones and with Jumpstart and all that is I open them and then I just like keep them separate and I reseal them, not like the little booster, but I like put them in my cassette tapes or anything. And I get to do draft again with them, right? So because the joke is to do draft. Then obviously you can just try to do constructed play with it, but there are some cards in here like this that you can't use for constructed play. So it's only in the context of Mystery Booster 2, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to start here, and then... Okay, so let's start from the less surprising stuff to the more surprising stuff. So Secret Lair Drop Series Rainbow Foil Edition, which... Little Legends. It's kind of disappointing that the latest Secret Lairs come in an envelope, which, is less wasteful because, I mean, it's cards and this is a fairly strong, envelope. And it occupies less space, so it is what it is. And they are made in a way that you can't really repurpose them. Look at that. Awful. But I kind of, they felt like better when they were like mini boxes, you know what I mean? It felt like they occupied more space, but it felt like more value, I guess. It's like the whole thing about putting weights in a trophy so that the trophy feels more valuable, even if it's made of plastic. So thank you for being part of Secret there, more or less. And it's like a magic notebook, not bad. These pieces of cardboard are interesting because they have interesting designs, like the one that we saw with Sheldon. And they're not bad, but it's like, what do I do with this? Like, it's too big to be a divider, too big to be a token, I guess, unless I like paint on it or something. Like, I don't know, kind of cool, and it gives. This is only here to give like more body to the envelope, so that it doesn't bend, but still. So Raya Dawnbringer. So this was called Little Legends. So it's similar to the Chibi Planeswalker cards that they did. These are Chibi legendary creatures and other legends, right? So we start right away. So again, visuals are subjective. I'm gonna be honest and say I'm not going like ultra crazy for this, right? And in terms of value, since you know these and these are in every box, like these are not very valuable, so it's not like unless you really like them. To be honest, I didn't buy it because of this. I bought it because of two of these, and because of this. This is like okay. I would prefer that they added more value because it's just cardboard for them, but whatever. And these are just like a thank you, I guess. Not my cup of tea, but Raya Raya Dawnbringer for 6 and 3 white, 4/6 legendary creature angel, flying at the beginning of your upkeep. You may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Not bad. Then Orvar, the all form for 3 and 1 blue, is a 3/3 shapeshifter with Changeling. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of one of those permanents. When a spell or ability an opponent control causes you to discard a card, create a token that's a copy of that permanent. So not a bad card at all. I think it's 1 per color if I recall correctly. Drana, the Last Blood Chief for 3 and 2 black, is a 4/4 legendary creature vampire cleric with flying. Whenever Drana attacks, defending player chooses a non-legendary creature card in your graveyard. You return that card to the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. The creature is a vampire in addition to its other types. Now, ironically, it's not like 5 colors. Then we have Lavinia, Azorius Renegade, Human Soldier 2/2, legendary creature 2, of course. Each opponent can cast non-creature spells with mana value greater than the number of lands that player controls, which is great to just undermine every mana rock, so people are going to love you. Classic Azorius. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell, so people are gonna love you. Omnath, Locus of All. Locus of Creation. Locus of All is the next one. This is one that doesn't have black, so red, green, white, and blue for a 4/4 legendary creature elemental that says when Omnath, Locus of Creation, enters, draw a card, and it has Landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, you gain 4 life. If this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn, if it's the second time, add one red, 1 green, 1 white, 1 blue. If it's the third time, Omnath deals 4 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker you don't control. So people love this commander for a reason. And last but not least, the one that kind of escaped the Dragon Ball Daima curse, apparently, because everything is chibi except Farhaven Elf, which, you know, is basically, if I recall correctly, this is like the bonus card of the Secret Lair. I may be wrong, like don't take me to court with that. For 2 and 1 green, is a 1/1 Elf Druid that says, when Farhaven Elf enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land, put it into the battlefield tab, and then shuffle. So, not bad. Not bad at all. So we have these 2 things. Now, let's open the boosters. I'm going to do like a different thing here. I'm basically going to, instead of going per color like we normally go, I'm going to just put them in piles, because then it's going to be a lot easier to sort. Let's go in order, I guess. Well, technically, the order is this, but whatever. So, Wilds of Eldraine, Collector Booster. One of those. There you go. What are we going to pull here? Is this one of the ones that is like you open them backwards? I don't remember, but yeah, this is one of the ones that you open backwards, so we're spoiling ourselves right away. A Nightmare and a food token. Force Fruition from the Enchanted Tales, so not bad. Oppression from Enchanted Tales, not bad too. Cruel Subnophage. Ooh, Realm Scorcher Hellkite, not bad. Questing Druid, not a bad card. And then Stab Wound, Ground Seal, and a swamp, and our assortment of commons and uncommons. So not the most exciting pack, not gonna lie to you. A lot of enchanting tales, like it's not that they are bad, but everyone comes here going like Ristic Studies, right? So not the YouTube channel, which is great by the way. But I put this one in here. So Eldraine. Then Ixalan is like, they put each of one because all of them have like very, chase cards, like Mana Crypt, Ristic Studies, and Jeweled Lotus. Now, 2 of those are banned. So, yaha. So, Etali's Favor, Deathcap Marionette, Malamet Veteran, Promising Vein, Nikanzil, Spyglass Siren, Tendril of the Myco Tyrant, and then Forest, Visit Ixalan. Now, the party starts, as usual, from the full land. So, let's see. Bartolomé del Presidio, in all its foilness. A Dire Flail, Screaming Emergence, so not bad. Ooh, Don Andres the Renegade from the Commander decks. Is the co-commander of the Pirates deck, the Ahoy Matis one, I think. Kellen, Daring Traveler. Not bad. I'm not that crazy about the art. I know, I don't want to offend Jorge Gutierrez Garcia. I know it's a very, that the whole thing is to go like Mayan / folklore style, I guess. But it just feels, it doesn't resonate with me, Life Finds a Way from Jurassic Park. Because yes, remember that Ixalan had Jurassic Park cards. So not bad, great art right there. Very cool looking. And Palanis Hatcher in foil, which, this is one of those common rares. We get a lot of them. And a Fungus Dinosaur foil token that is also a Vampire Demon. So not bad. We got a Jurassic Park card, which I think is guaranteed in every one of these. So, it's kind of the thing. Again, this is kind of a flavorless thing because this being done after the ban, even though you can still play with the card, your group just has to agree. That's the whole joke about Commander, right? It's like, as long as everyone agrees, as long as everyone is happy, you can do whatever, right? That's kind of the philosophy. So, see, the problem with the autofocus is that whenever there is a face, there is a problem. So I need to start picking playmats that don't have faces. So let's go. Commander Masters, Dread Return, Spectral Grasp, Bonder's Ornament. Man, it feels like so long ago, like Commander Masters, and it wasn't that long ago. It just speaks to the amount of stuff that is released that I look at Commander Masters and I go like, man, I remember these days. And it's like, it's not that far away, buddy. Frantic Search. Oh, spoilers, I guess. Slimefoot, the Stowaway. Generous Gift in foil. Very, classic card. The Elephant. Or you see a commander deck with an elephant, you already know that it's because of Generous Gift. Krenko, Mob Boss. So, not bad. A very good commander for goblins. Maybe the best commander for goblins. Awakening Sun's Avatar. Okay, cool. In Edge foil. Not bad. Ooh. Anikhthia, Hand of Erebos, which is the commander from the commander deck of enchantments, is one of the commander decks that doesn't get much love because everyone goes after the Slivers one or after the Eldrazi one. But this deck actually kind of slaps very dangerously. Like, I have played with it and against it, and it just escalates like a crazy machine. Fun fact, my favorite and the one that I actually build on top of is the Planeswalkers one, but it's just because I'm a psychopath. Vault of Champions, not bad. Enters the battlefield tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents. So this is one of the free commander dual lands. So Tango lands, as the prof calls them. Steel Shaper's Gift in foil. Okay, not bad. So you library for an equipment card, reveal that card, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. Not a bad card at all. And then the token, the Spirit token, that is also a Core Soldier. So, not the craziest, most exciting booster, but that's kind of the reality. That's kind of the game, for better or worse. So I am afraid that is going to be the reality for most people. A lot of people, some people actually pull like the holy grail. Like they pull the I forgot the name of the cards. They are banned, so I don't remember them anymore. Like they pulled God damn it, Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus, and some even pull even Ristic Studies, right? And it's like, you know, combo breaker, and then everything was banned. So which, you know, it just speaks about the market and how it goes, because it's like everything was banned in a format where literally the rule 0, so like the non-spoken rule is ironically about speaking, and say like, hey guys, I have this in my deck. Is everyone cool with that? Because we forget that Magic is a 2-player game, and it can be okay, and it can be, you know, everything you want, actually, right? The thing is with Magic, they try to make Magic competitive. Well, this is a very frail booster. I was expecting like more resistance, like a collector booster. Or maybe I am like overworked because of the opening the collector boosters, which are normally made of like metal or something. I'm going to keep it again as a unit, right? I'm going to open it, and then I'm going to like put them like this and the entire booster. So then I can repurpose them to draft, because that's the joke of this, right? And I'm going to open like half the box only, maybe 10. So I'm sorry if you are like, oh man, come on, I want to see the whole box. But it's like, please understand. Please understand. Like, this is to play with, to do draft, to have like cool drafts. I'm opening it for the sake of the channel, showing it a little bit, and because, you know, I love, you know, sharing my shit with you guys. But this is to play with. If I don't play with it, it just becomes stock, right? And that, I feel that it fits the purpose. For one product that is actually good to play with, I want to actually play with it. Now, please, Wizards, if you are there listening, make this a thing that I can just buy, so that I can just do an opening if I want, and then I can buy another box and just play with the guys. Because since this is so difficult to get my hands in, because I only got one, because Secret Lair, and it's kind of expensive, to be honest, I want to play with it, but then I don't have any more. Like, I can't, unless I repurpose them, but then you shuffle, you make your deck, right? Like, you can only like really draft purely once. That's why I'm going to separate them with boosters. If I could buy more, then I wouldn't be that afraid and just keep doing the draft experience, because it's kind of good. I played with this, but I don't own one of these. This is the first one that I own. So just giving context, like, sorry, I'm poor, guys. Like, I don't have like 7 of these. So there are a bunch of, this is like crazy reprints the set, and that's why people went crazy about it. See, like, you even have like old style prototype cards that don't really fit in here as a game, or they have like different formats visually. They bring a Magic Arena or Magic Online cards in here. So, you know, it's kind of crazy, wacky draft, right? And the con is very fun, and then this is for you to do in your house with your pals and all that. So when Temple Acolyte comes into play from your hand, you gain 3 life. Attack and defense, people. The all icons right there. Mana Bridge, and I love that they kept the old sandy texture, like the old cards. They even got that right. This is basically like the list set, right? Like everything has the list booster box. Everything has the original logo, and then it has the icon here that basically says, this is a reprint, my brother. Which is something that I actually love, because it's like, this is more like accurate to the story of Magic. It's like, okay, it's the original set, but this is a reprint. Thank you, right? So that's not bad. And you know, this is to play with, so you don't care. If you care, then you go buy the original one and yada yada yada. Beseech the Queen, not bad. Feral Shadow, again, one of the classics. Flying, there you go. Punishing Fire. Goblin Grenadiers. I see, this is kind of the thing, is like you can go like classic Magic booster style and go like straight to the rare and mythic, rare/or mythic. But it defeats the purpose. Like, a lot of these cards are not that good. They are just like weird looking on purpose. So it's fun. But the joke of this is to play with, right? Conspicuous Snoop for 2 red. It's a 2/2. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may cast Goblin spells from the top of your library as long as the top card of your library is a Goblin card. Conspicuous Snoop, sorry. Has all activated abilities of that card. And then these are some of the things that they, advertise, like the prototype cards kind of thing, right, with the white borders, and they release like prototype cards, future sight, I think was the name of the site, the set. So reprints with the card frame of future sight, which is interesting because this is certainly a frame. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it either. So reprints with this is interesting, and these ones, yes, these ones do have the mystery booster 2 logo, which is very similar to the Clue one from Ravnica that we opened, link in the corner. So, white border. It's interesting how life goes around too, by the way, because it's like, well, you get a white border card, and then you got a future frame, and then a prototype that has like the weirdest texture, by the way, which I don't think is because of the card. It's just like, it feels sandy. Like, I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe you can't, ASMR right there for you, but 2 for Keeper of the Full Grip. So obviously this is, if you want to play with these cards, people have to agree with it. Human Gamer. Whenever a spell you control causes you to gain card advantage, each opponent loses 2 life. And then says, remember tokens that are in cards. Cool. So it's funny, the whole irony of thing, because it's like, this is it's a prototype card. Cool. And this is a frame that everyone hated, but sure, cool. And white border cards, people are like, man, reprints with white border, that's so cool. And it's life is just a series of irony in a loop, because when Magic was released, black borders were the thing. So people were like, so first it was white borders, then it became black borders, and people were like, oh, that's better. And people will actually paint with Sharpies their cards because it's like to make them look black. And ironically, with Flesh and Blood, it's the same. Like Flesh and Blood has black borders, but if you are buying a reprint set, like the history sets and stuff like that, which is great because it's for the sake of playing, they are white border. And people get really bothered about that, and they actually paint the borders too. And now here is Wizards saying, hey, white borders, guys, exclusive. It's like, okay. Like, to be honest, I don't like white borders. I think black just looks more elegant. And black borders were introduced as a mechanism to actually do foils easily and properly, among other reasons, but mostly that. And so I don't go crazy for white borders. I don't like them either. Like, they look more like paper cards and not so much like art card pieces, game pieces kind of thing. So let's see. Dress Down. Enchantment Flash. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Creatures lose all abilities, all creatures. And at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Dress Down. So it's an enchantment that has flash. So basically it's a flash spell, but whatever. And is from Modern Horizons 2, I think. A white border card, which almost looks like a photocopy thing, but unless you see like the hologram and you go like, oh, okay, cool. So Deathrite Shaman, great card. So 1 black or 1 green is a 1/2, and you tap it, exile target land from a graveyard, add 1 mana of any color, and if you do black and tap, exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard, each opponent loses 2 life, and if you do green and tap, exile target creature card from a graveyard, you gain 2 life. And then Sensei's Divining Top, not bad of a reprint. The crazy border here. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, then put them all back in any order. Everyone knows how this thing works. And then you don't get a token, but you get these cards, TLDR. So a lot of people just go to the last 3 because it's like where the new stuff is. Everything else is a reprint. Not that the reprints are bad, but see, it's like the texture is weird. They feel like very sandy against each other. Like, like they sound like they sound. It's weird. And I have glows and I can tell. Imagine without them. So TLDR, 2 black, exile target creature if it has any abilities other than keywords. Fly and Protection and Partner are all keywords. See Rule 702 for details. Landfall and Scry are in keywords. They are an ability word and a keyword action respectively. Yes, there is a difference. Love it. This mystery booster 2 feels a lot more like what Magic 30 should have been. You know what I mean? Like I keep my opinion that Magic 30 was a dream. It's not in my head canon because Jesus. And March of the Machine is the real 30th anniversary thing. Like All Will Be One had all crazy treatments, and Phyrexians are a very big part of Magic. But March of the Machine is the real Humble Defector is the real anniversary set, because you have all the planes with special treatments and all that, right? And like creatures banding together to make like new legendary cards and stuff like that. Golgari Grave Troll, nice. 4-1 green, 0/0. Golgari Grave Troll enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature card on your graveyard. Then you pay 1, remove a +1/+1 counter from it, regenerate Golgari Grave Troll. It has dredged 6. The white border is a snow-covered mountain, which feels appropriate because, well, it's snow-covered, so there you go. The modern frame, the future side frame, is Snaring Breach, which is actually not a bad card at all. Artifact for 3. Creatures with power greater than the number of cards in your hand can attack. And the prototype card is Planewalker. For 2/1 white, is a Kithkin Rogue. It has Planeswalk, and it has Planeswalker Walk. This creature can't be blocked as long as the defending player controls the Planeswalker. It's a 2/3, by the way, and whenever a Planeswalker deals combat damage to a player or Planeswalker Planeswalk, which means if you're playing Plane Chase, proceed to the next plane. So it's a lot of play. But these cards, like, man, they are like so weird in their texture, man. It's weird. They smell like something. I don't know what to tell you, but they smell like something for sure. They smell like paint. They smell like, not like burned paper, but when you start burning paper and before it starts smelling like burn, it smells like this smell that is not that bad, but it's not good either. That's kind of the smell that I'm getting from this. So, spoilers, we're going to open as much as I can fit here. Which, yes, if I want, I can cheat and make it work, but so that you know. Because I'm really opening them and thinking like, man, I should be drafting this shit. Like, I should totally be doing. But this looks like a better celebration of Magic's history, right? Like, first is draft, which is something that everyone loves. Like, we love it because we get to do like a deck on the spot, and you need to be crafty, and you open boosters, which everyone loves, and because it's drugs basically, and all that. And Wizards loves it because they sell boosters, which is the whole joke for their business model, right? So, but it feels like an anniversary set because you get like, aerial responder set, like a reprint, and then Theros, right? Like, I think this is, I don't know which one this is. This is for 2013 because that's Nicol Bola's thing. I think. I'm not sure. Which set is this one? See, this is also a good proof of how good of a fan you are. Because like Tarkir and so on. But see, it's like reprints for all of Magic's history with their respective logos. This feels like a proper celebration, right? And for them, it's not expensive at all. I mean, come on, you don't even have to change the card. It's as it is. Send it to the prints and, make it cheaper. This was kind of expensive because new cards and all that. But like, and it was a secret layer and yada, yada, yada. But it should be a little bit more cheap and make it like more celebratory. I mean, I know this is a business, but you can make it a business and we can have our anniversary thing with Magic, every year is an anniversary, but it's like, remember this card, remember that, and you can make decks from it, you can use them for Commander or whatever. And then, Garth One Eye, not bad. A Woober Commander, there you go. Choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from among Disenchant, Rain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, Regrowth, and Black Lotus. Create a copy of the card with the chosen name. You may cast a copy. You still play its cost, including Black Lotus. So, yikes. Then you have like white border in reprints, which is like a very good celebration of Magic's history because it's the old style. It's like, yeah, man, old style. Kind of cool. Rite of Flame. And then you have the future side frame, which is something that everyone hated, but the concept was pretty cool because it was like, let's imagine how Magic cards will be in the future. And I always love that concept. And now, Since this looks weird that you can have a deck with this, and this together, right? But I mean, come on, you saw Magic as a Machine, and you see all the treatments that Wizards releases now for cards, so you can have all this together in the same deck. And it's still Magic, you know? To me, it's always Magic as long as we respect this block, like the mana cost. This is why Future Sight feels kind of confusing to me, because it's about readability. But once you get used to it, whatever, right? Because this feels like a different card game if you put it next to this or this, right? So, you know, not 100% sold in that, but when Rest in Peace enters the battlefield, exile all graveyards. If a card or token will be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. So you have past, future, and then ultra future, because these are hypothetical cards, and some of them are very stupid, which I love. Subgoyf is a Yorgoyf and says Subgoyf power and toughness are each equal to the number of different subtypes other than creature types among cards in all graveyards, and its toughness is equal to that number plus 1. So basically, is a Goyf. I forgot the name of the boogeyman, which actually came with a future sight frame, by the way. The Yargoyf, the Lurgoyf? No, is the Necro. Damn, I can't remember the name. I'm getting old, people. Refuse to yield from New Capenna, Innistrad. See, like this is like. Let us love you, Wizards, for a second. Like, it's all about money, so make this a little bit cheaper, make it available, let us buy it, and this is very celebratory. This is Magic right here. All sorts of cards, all sorts of treatments, all the sets from over 30 years of history, and, you know, us playing and buying boosters. So you're happy, we're happy, you know. And then there is some value here too. So, you know, we don't need collector boosters for everything. This kind of hits the spot. Josei the Morningstar. Crazy right there, a Dragon Spirit, 4 white for 5/5 with flying, and when Josei the Morningstar dies, target player skips his or her next untap step. Tap up to 5 target permanents that player controls. Then, Collector Offie, and this one is fairly recent, right? I saw this one, I think, maybe not. Isn't this one from like Eldraine? Maybe I'm mixing it with something else, but activated abilities of artifacts can be activated, so big yikes right there. For future side, Pyroblast, which looks amazing. See, like the icon here for instant, which is fun, but it's like redundant, so, you know. Choose one, counter target spell if it's blue, destroy target permanent if it's blue. And then Dairy Cow. Creature cow, grazing type. This creature enters the battlefield with 5 mill counters on it for each forest and or plant you control. What do you do with mill counters? Exactly. That's the joke, people. So I think we can open like 3 more. Open like 10, and that will be more or less half the box, and that's okay. I really want to play with this. I'm keeping them as they are. I'm going to put them in cassettes, in cassette boxes, as you saw like video there. But Phantom Flock, see, like, really gotta love this. I know, call me sentimental, call me a wuss, but I really look at this and go like, man. And I wasn't playing Magic for some of these sets. I wasn't even looking at Magic. I was either doing some other games or too young even, like, but somehow it feels like nostalgic because, you know, it's the history of the game. Like, I love having Spider-Man cards and all that. That's great. But you know, Magic is here for a reason. And looking at there's Magic's history, you know, it's nice. That's what I'm saying. Death Touch as Plague Engineer, that's like a user story. As a Plague Engineer, I want to enter the battlefield so that I choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type your opponent controls get -1/-1, and then a Mystical Dispute, not bad. If it targets a blue spell, it costs 2 less to cast, and counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. In future side borders, Rain of Daggers for 4 and 2 black. It's a sorcery. It kind of like bites the art, so I don't really like love it too much. I like it as a piece of history, but I don't like it that it just bites the art for no reason. Destroy all creature targets opponent control. All creatures target opponent controls, you lose 2 life for each creature destroyed this way. And the prototype card, Fetching Garden, is a forest plains. It can give you one or the other. Fetching Gardens enters the battlefield tapped if it was played from your hand. Which is not a bad design. It's an interesting design for a dual land. Dual land, not dual land. Irregular Cohort, Last Breath, Nevermaker, Tide Schemer, Sir Conrad the Grim, fairly recent, Heartless Act, Exuberant Fuseling, also, I've seen this so much because of Phyrexia, Ikoria, Kaldheim, I can identify it, Counter Squall, and from the Innistrad, Herald of Secret Streams is a Merfolk Warrior, a 2/3 that says creature you control with +1/+1 counters on them can be blocked. In white borders, a Treasure Cruise, Delve, draw 3 cards for 7 and 1 blue. In future side border is Rishadan Port, is a land, it gives you 1 colorless, and if you pay 1 and tap, you can tap target land. So always useful. And Anax and Saimid and Kinaios and Tyro. So Kinaios and Tyro are the co-commanders from a commander deck. The other 2, I don't know. So legendary creature, Human Soldier for 1 and red, green, white, and blue. The Human Soldier has first strike and vigilance. It's a 3/8 that says heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Anax and Saimid and Kinaios and Tyro, draw a card. Each player may put a land card from their hand onto the battlefield. Then each opponent who didn't draws a card, which is kind of an evolution of that deck's commander. So kind of makes sense. There are some prototype cards that feel like fairly okay. Maybe they just didn't find a reason to print them yet, or they just found them like, no, they don't fit the game as is. But because that's an iterative commander, that's a version of Tyro and Kinaios, which are the commanders from 2017. That was my first commander precon, I think, by the way. Blatant Thievery for 4 and 3 blue. For each opponent, gain control of target permanent that player controls. That's pretty good. So for the white border, we have a Either Sworn Canonist for 1 and 1 white is a 2/2 human cleric that says each player who has cast a non-artifact spell this turn can cast additional non-artifact spells. So classic white, they will love you. For the future side one, we have Goblin Lackey is a 1/1 goblin that says whenever Goblin Lackey deals damage to a player, you may put a goblin permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. And last but not least, the prototype card, which I love these ones, Wowzer, the Aspirational. So it costs you everything, really. It costs you a colorless, Wooburg, and ice, like an Iceland, I think. Because it's from a snow-covered land, I guess. I've never seen that. Whenever Wowzer, the Aspirational attacks, if you have an energy, because sure, control a blood, a clue, a food, a map, a power stone, and a treasure, are the monarch, and have the city's blessing and the initiative, you win the game. So yeah. So yeah, the Aspirational for sure. And gotta love the art. It's like if you have every possible type of magic thing from the last years, then yeah, sure, you win the game. Why not? Which is a very aspirational thing. Like, oh, if I had these, and these, it's like, yeah, sure. And if my grandmother had wheels, she will be a motorcycle, right? That's kind of the whole. Burrenton Forged Tender, Careful Study. It's not realistic, it's careful. For Spike, Spark Reaper. So Spike, Dothy Horror, gonna love the art. Explosive Welcome. Pirate. Spellbomb, Pirate, I guess. Sky Shroud Elite. Prize Fight from Nicapena. Ooh. The hell is this? So land, as you create your deck, circle 2 of the colors below. Cryptic Spires enters the battlefield tapped. Add 1 mana of either of the circled colors. So it's a make your own dual land type of thing. Which, you know, if you don't want to destroy a perfectly good card, the way that you can, although this is a common, like you're supposed to have like a bunch of this. The way that you can do this is just the colors of your commander. If you have a 2-color commander, if you have more than that, then yeah, you need to paint this. Murderous Rider. This is fairly recent too. Zombie Knight, it has an adventure. Exactly, yeah. Fairly recent. Then White Border, Veteran Explorer. I remember this one. Human Soldier Scout. When Veteran Explorer dies, each player may search the library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. Future side, you have Pox for 3 black. Each player loses a third of their life, then discards a third of the cards in their hand, sacrifices a third of the creatures they control, then sacrifices a third of the lands they control, round up each time. So another card for people to love you in Commander. Because Commander players, let's be honest, like when we play Commander, it's all about like you doing your game on your board, and then if anything else happens, then cool, I guess. But like, you know, it's all about like your little board kind of thing. That's why they don't like land removal or anything removal, because it's like, oh, you're messing with my board. It's like, sorry, this is not like a 4-player solo single player game. Pinchy McStingbot. Perfectly good name. For 2 and 1 black is a 1/3 Scorpion. It has Death Touch. And whenever Pinchy McStingbot deals combat damage to a player, conjure a card named Death of 1,000 Stings, Lethal Sting, or Stinging Shot at random into your hand and reveal it. Treat conjure cards like cards. Okay, and last, because I said I will open like 10, and you know. If you want me to open the rest, like please let me know before I just start playing with them. Core Celebrant, Moment of Triumph, Flash of Insight, when we also had the icons on here. A Morbid Changeling from Jumpstart. Crazy art, by the way. Stormgull Crusader, Feed the Swarm, Young Red Dragon, Electricary, Horned Sliver. Oh, well, a Sliver, not bad. All the Slivers gain Trample, not bad. Cavu Predator, the freaking Cavus. Savage Lands. Savage Lands comes into play tapped, and you can give you 1 of 3. It's a Trail Land. Ooh. Ajani the Great-Hearted. For 2, 1 green and 1 white is a Ajani Planeswalker card. So creatures you control have Vigilance. Very Ajani. For his +1 is you gain 3 life, and his -2, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each other Planeswalker you control. Not bad. It's a shame that since it's green and white, it doesn't fit in my Planeswalker deck. Throes of Chaos. For 3 and 1 red, it has Cascade and Retrace. I don't even remember what Retrace is supposed to do, so I guess I need to check that online. Goblin Settler is the future side one. For 3 and 1 red, when Goblin Settler enters the battlefield, destroy target land. And our last card is a prototype card, and it's going to be... Like, the texture is crazy. It's crazy on me. It's so sandy. Vuzzle Spaceship. For 4 and 2 red, is an artifact creature construct. Spaceship 6. This creature enters with 6 +1/+1 counters. If it will be dealt damage, remove that many +1/+1 counters. Instead, its abilities are active as long as it has at least that many +1/+1 counters. It has thrusters 6 flying. So if you have 6 tokens, then it has flying. If you have 3 +1/+1s, it has lasers, which means whenever Vuzzle Spaceship attacks, it deals 1 damage to any target. Not a bad idea for a card. I imagine that, you know, you change the wording, you change the design, and you can make it like a more badass card for like a modern thing. Even for an Iron Man thing, since we are doing secret Universes Beyond now, it kind of fits. With this art and so on, it looks more like a onset type of card. But yeah, so I'm going to stop here because again, I really want to play with them, and no offense, but like putting them in cassettes is cool, but it's nothing like popping it with the boys on a Friday night and so on. So summary for this: cool box, like very cool detail that you have like a Fable Puth in there and all that. That's pretty cool. The box is cool. The box is like a little piece of memorabilia, although it's very discardable cardboard, so it's not like a collector box or anything. It's just like a nice box. Then you have another box inside with these boosters. These boosters are pretty cool, and I wish that Wizards makes with Mystery Boosters 2 what they did with Mystery Booster 1, that you could just buy it later, right? I understand that it's like an incentive for you to go to the con, but the moment you sell this through Secret Lair, then why not just make it a thing that I can buy from you, right? Like, or have it in Secret Lair permanently and have it like in waves, like every 3 months or something, or something like that. Like this box, not the convention. Like if you want to make the convention thing more exclusive, because yeah, it comes with some secret layers and all that, cool. But like Mystery Booster 2, please make it a thing that I can buy in a store, because I really want to play more with that. And it really feels like a tribute to Magic's history. I really like the format. The texture is sandy as hell for some reason, so that's something that we should look at. The 3 boosters are kind of whatever, like 3 collector's boosters, which is what kind of Magic has become. Oh, now this is not sandy at all. Look at this. Perfect. Like all things should be. Just they slice through each other. They slide perfectly, like no friction. But these cards are crazy friction, which it pisses me off. Like, look at this. I will try to catch it in the microphone. Headphone warning, I guess. This is me doing this next to the microphone. Right? And now, let's look at this, and you might be like, oh, but these are foils, so it's easier. But like, listen. If you can't hear it, or you hear something very low, it's because, well, that's the sound that you hear when you go like this through your cards. But these are all very sandy, which makes me even more pissed, because it's like you make this like a celebration product kind of thing, exclusive product, secret layer product, expensive product, and then the cards are all sandy. Like, I get that it doesn't come with foils, because it's not about that, it's about playing, and these 3 treatments are kind of cool, but they are sandy as hell, brother. Like look. Can you hear that? Like, it's crazy. It's making me come on. Because then like, look at these ones. These 2 are not foil. These are not foil, right? They don't sound. Listen. I'm really putting them against each other, and they don't sound like these. These are just very sandy for no good reason. So yeah, is this worth it? Well, this video is hell late, so it's not like you're going to see the video and go like, okay, I'm going to buy one. I mean, this is cool, I guess. Very random. Too random even for my taste. It's like, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you, I guess. Cool. Like, like, okay, you know what I mean? It's like 3 very random cards. Useful cards, at least Ponder and Plowshares and the Land. The Land is the most useful, ironically. People are just shit on the Plains because it's a Plains of all. No one likes white for some reason. Well, I know the reasons. But it's like, oh, it's a Plains. Yeah, but I mean, the artist, for one, is one of the most legendary artists, right? So John Avon. Avon, but I guess it's Avon. And the art is great, it's beautiful. So, and you can use that land anywhere that you have white. So it's actually one of the most useful cards in all of this. But people just give it shit. And then you have an actual secret layer with little legends. You have some cool cards in here, like, but these are not a surprise. You know what you're getting. Then you have the surprises. So random stuff here. This is very cool. The texture is very meh for some reason. They are very sandy. It feels like I'm having cards made of like sandpaper. It's weird. And then you have the 3 collector boosters. Some people were complaining that, in previous ones, they gave you like more draft boosters, or in this case, it will be play boosters for you to actually play, similar to this. And in here, they gave us like 3 collector boosters. It's okay. It just feels scummy because Magic has become this, like, foil chase cards, and that's what people care about, instead of this, which is playing the game and the history of the game and cool stuff and cool shit. I don't really like playing draft that much because I get nervous. I prefer to just go with my deck already, but I like playing draft. So This looks the three boosters are cool. It just in retrospect, it just feels very scummy because you know it's like, oh, it so happens that it comes with three boosters where the chase cards were to be banned later, right? So it's like, bam, 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 bam. You know what I mean? It's like, sure, Wizards, cool, bro. So there are things here that I feel like 50-50, cool product, 50% cool product, 50% scammy, and scummy too. So, and then you have this, which is cool, I guess. I don't know what to make with this, but it's kind of cool. So, thank you for watching and for being a part of this channel. And let me know down below if you want to see more like this, or if you want me to open the rest, and I guess I won't play with my friends, but what do you think about this? Was it worth it? Would you like something like this, but changing some stuff? Like, I'm certain that I think everyone agrees that Mystery Booster 2 should be like public access so that we can just buy that. But what would be your ideal like convention box, right? Like for me, half of this is not necessary, I think. But then why then, like, I don't know. Obviously, if you can't go to the con goes with you, which is kind of a cool concept. I love that concept. I just don't like some of the things that are happening here. But hey, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and all those cool things that the cool kids do. And I will see you next time on PAX and Recreation. Bye.